and she's married and healthy, working full-time. This is my lovely Kate. Kate has cystic fibrosis and she was very close to death prior to her transplant. She sang goodbye to her mum before she went to theatre. Her dog absolutely loves her to death, wouldn't leave her alone. She got down to 36 kilos there. Very, very sick. She said she couldn't even hold her toothbrush up to brush her teeth before she had a transplant. She was that sick. She lay on the couch for about a year, just struggling to breathe. This is Kate now. She's 4 years post-transplant now, and she's 30, and she's married. She had that photo taken 3 months after her transplant, just to show off her scar. She's quite proud of her scar, actually. And she went overseas before a year, which the surgeons told her to wait a year, and she went at about 8 months, so she was naughty. She's doing all the bad things like motocross, but she's living life, and that's what it's all about. She just says she can't enjoy life enough. This is Nicholas. He was a biliary atresia baby. He had a split liver at 7 months. This is Nicholas growing up. He went to the transplant games, he won gold medals for Australia. He's into weightlifting at the moment, and he's now 20 and he's studying medicine, and he was retransplanted last year, and he comes to some of the grade 12 talks with me. He's fantastic, and he wouldn't be here today if someone didn't give it, that generous gift of life. Tissue, this is a fungal infection. If you're in a third world country, you just sit on the street and beg. But here in Australia, we just send you off to the eye doctor and you get a corneal transplant. And that's an amazing thing that we can offer people here in first world countries. And this is Wayne. He's a firefighter in Brisbane, and he woke up with red itchy eyes with that fungal infection. He's been transplanted and he's back at work now. So Alicia Camplin, she had a tendon replacement as well. So we don't do just organ and tissue, we do other things, and she went on to win the gold medal at the Olympics. I've just got this little video.
About a year ago, my son, our son Daniel, was at a mate's place, and they decided to go up to the local shops. And Daniel took his skateboard, and on the way back, he rode it down a slope and accidentally fell backwards off the skateboard and taking the fall on his head. Daniel was unconscious. The ambulance attendants took him to hospital, and we got that dreaded call and arrived at the hospital about the time that they were preparing to take Daniel to surgery to remove a blood clot from his brain.
It's a terrible situation for parents to be in.
His brain kept swelling, and the doctors told us that Daniel would be brain dead and that they could turn off the life support. Well, we found ourselves in a great dilemma then, because here we were in a situation where our son could now become an organ donor. And it wasn't until then that we found out that it's only if if you become brain dead that you can become an organ donor. In our son's case, Daniel's heart was taken for a recipient. His lungs were divided for 2 people. His liver was split, and his kidneys were divided. So in all, it helped 7 people's lives, and about 11 other people received tissue or bone from Daniel and cornea.
From such a terrible situation, you have your son's going to die, and he's already been wasted. But why waste him completely?
We wouldn't have gone ahead with our decision to allow Daniel to become an organ donor without knowing what his wishes were. And I think that if people are out there and they haven't even considered this possibility, because you would not wish this on your worst enemy, but if you are in a position like this where someone you love is brain dead, if you know that they wish to become an organ donor, then in that time of agony and heartbreak, you can clearly think that this is what they wanted to do. They wanted you to do for them. We just ask that young people consider talking to their family, talking to their friends. Think about becoming a donor, should anything ever happen to them, or ask their family what they would want to do as well.
So that's a little story. It's pretty sad. But the federal government have put out a website, donatelife.gov.au. There's heaps of information on that website, and it's also got recipient stories and donor family stories. So you can also add your story. If anyone has been in one of those situations, you can go in on that book and add your story as well. And you get lots of information about all sorts of things in there. So thank you very much for inviting me today. Is there any questions? Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Amanda, the age group, I've been on the register for some time, and then somebody made a comment to me that there is a cut-off in terms of the age. You mentioned before that with the tissue, that it didn't matter about the age, but is there an age factor for...
There is a little bit of age criteria, but there's nothing definite. So we offer everyone who wants to be, who families consent, we offer to the surgeons in Brisbane, who then look at their lists and look at the Australian list, because if someone's really critical and only got 24 hours to live, they will take a more marginal, say heart for example, which the cut-off is about 50 years of age or 55 years of age for a heart, but liver and kidneys is right up to 80 years of age. So if someone is only got 24 hours to live and they are 40 and a 58-year-old heart comes up, then if that person's never smoked and has been in good physical condition, then their heart function is good, then they'll probably take that chance and use that heart. So there's no definite cut-offs. Skin and bone and heart valve is similar. The heart valve bank might not use a heart for valves if they're older, like 80, but they definitely use other things like skin, bone and eye tissue.
Don't worry, Sue, you're still in your goodbye days.
I went to this, I went to a Lions Club or something, and this guy came up and he was so gorgeous, and he was 94 or something, and he was an ex-doctor and he was so cute, and he just said, I'm 94, I can't donate anything. I said, well, fantastic that you're 94, that's great. Don't worry about donating now. Many people don't make 94, so you're lucky. He goes, oh, okay. So, it's all relative. But yeah, if you're someone with cystic fibrosis, girls waiting at 16, desperately waiting for some lungs or whatever, then that's a life-changing thing for them, because they can live a normal life until old age.
I think you've already answered my question. I had myself on my car licence, which expired some 15 or 20 years ago. They said I was too old then. You are, because a lot of things that you were capable of doing when you were young, you are no longer capable of doing. And at 95 now, I'm still pretty healthy, I think.
Yeah, fantastic.
The doctors don't think so.
I think that's great.
So the only trouble, it might be my liver.
One more question.
Is there a way to check if you've already registered?
Yeah, you just have to check with Medicare. You have to ring that number. They'll tell you. They'll tell you if it's on your licence or an intent that you can re-register with consent.
Amanda, on behalf of the Joint Clubs, thank you very much for coming to talk to us about this great work we do. It's a terrific service to the community, and it's encouraging. Glad my wife wasn't here today, because she'd say, I'll pack a suitcase, you get taken now. But on behalf of the club, thank you very much. It's
Thank you.
Appreciate it.